What's going on, everybody? Thanks for joining us on a very special extra inning. We want to thank you guys for joining us again. Before we get started, as always, don't forget to follow us on social media. You can find us on Twitter at @theblown_save and on Instagram at @theblown_save. Don't forget, you guys can still reach out to us and send us messages on theblown_save podcast@gmail.com. Today we have a special guest. No, the compadre isn't special. I mean, I'll bring him in. What's going on, compadre?
What's up? How we doing?
Oh, we're hanging out. We're doing things. We have a special guest with us tonight.
Very excited to meet him.
I know. It's this is David Mackinnon, infielder, and more specifically, the first baseman for the Angels minor league affiliate team, the Rocket City Trash Pandas. My favorite name for any minor league team I've ever heard of, the Rocket City Trash Pandas. Welcome to the show, David.
Awesome, guys. Thanks for having me.
Well, I'm glad that you sent me a message. It was really weird how I got in contact with them. One of, I guess, your old agent, or I'm not sure how.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's still kind of working with my new agent. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know exactly what's going on, but he's my boy.
He was. I'm on this thread online where people sell and buy different memorabilia and stuff, and he showed like a closet full of like jerseys, and everybody's asking as far as like what teams, and I was like, hey, do you have a Trash Pandas jersey? And he was just like, no, but I have one of my clients plays for the Trash Pandas. And I was like, oh, right on. And I was like, are you an agent or what's up? He's like, oh, man, do your research. And he like gave me this info. I'm like, well, shit, dude, I didn't know. I thought I was just buying a jersey off you. And he told me it was you. And I was like, you know what? My dad always said you always miss every ball you don't swing at. So I told him, hey, do you think you could hit him up and see if he wants to jump on a show with us? We run a small little podcast, and we focus usually on baseball, but I was like, hey, let him know. And he's like, yeah, give me your phone number. I'll text him right now. And then, lo and behold, you text me, and here we are.
There we are.
Yeah, David. David strikes me as a pretty cool cat. I feel like I got to know him. I saw the interview online about him, and I'm like, oh, damn, this dude fit right in right here.
So I did do a little bit of research on you, man. Where you grew up in Easton, Massachusetts, is that right?
Yes, sir.
So
Easton, Mass.
That's just south of Boston, from what I heard the last time.
Yeah, I think it's like 25 minutes south of Boston. Yeah, so lots of trips to Fenway and like Gillette Stadium for football games.
All right. Well, nice. You know what? You answered two questions I was going to ask you a little bit later, but hey, you got it out of the way now. So you were a Boston fan growing up then?
Big Red Sox fan.
Do you drop your R's and all that stuff too, or not?
No, my mom's side of the family is bad with that. But my dad's side's from Canada, so I think I got more of that one than anything.
I could hear the Canada more than the Southie.
Yeah, Boston
accent. Same. I was kind of wondering. I was like, hey, he's from Boston, but he don't drop any of his R's here.
I know, yeah. I mean, hang out with my mom's side of the family for a little bit, and boom. Oh, boy.
I mean, do you say car keys or you say khakis? I mean, it's just a matter of...
My mom says khakis.
That's funny. That's
great.
Funny.
So you grew up a Red Sox fan. Who was your favorite player growing up?
Oh, I'd probably have to say, growing up, I mean, I was number 5 in Little League for a while when Nomar was there, and 24 Manny. So like those are my two dudes. And then as I got older, I definitely looked up to Big Papi and Pedroia, and then just Pedro for a pitcher.
Right on. Nice. We were talking about Pedro the other day when we were talking about the sticky substance situation going on in MLB right now, which we're going to ask you about a little bit later. Just trying to get a hitter's perspective. I mean, me and Artie can speculate, but we're not behind the plate, getting 95, 98 mile an hour fastballs thrown at us, so we can't really say it. It was just great. We're gonna get your opinion and your side of the situation. How did it feel getting drafted by the Angels back in 2017?
Well, 17. It was awesome. Obviously, as a senior, you're not getting paid, so that's kind of the tough part.
Yeah.
The money. When you get drafted is out of high school and after your junior year in college. So my junior year in college, I hit really well. I think I hit like almost 400. I've always been able to hit pretty good and get on base. So I was assuming after I played in the Cape that prior summer, I thought I'd get drafted. Just didn't happen for some reason. And I mean, I think I know the reason. It was the power numbers. That's always been my problem. And ended up just not getting drafted that year. Following year, then I went to the Cape again, had another good summer there, had another good year in college, back at school, and fortunately got drafted as a senior sign, and once you're drafted, it doesn't really matter what you sign for, what round you're signed for, or what round you're signed in. It just kind of matters how you perform at that point. You're gonna have less chances at that level, or if you're drafted in the 32nd round compared to like the first, second, or third round. But as long as you're take advantage of the chances you get, you're gonna stick around. I think I've done that pretty good. So just kind of have that grind mentality. But like getting drafted in 2007, like it's the greatest feeling ever. That's what everyone dreams of. That's what just having your name called at any point during the draft is the coolest thing ever. So I can't really explain the feeling, but it was just what you dream of.
What were you
Did you
doing?
have an idea,
Okay.
like of when you were gonna get drafted, or like
like
your agent or anything?
Yeah, at that point it was as a junior, I was under the impression if I got drafted, it was gonna be 8 through 15.
Yeah.
That's usually the rounds where I would get drafted. I wasn't gonna be a top rounder just because the tools weren't there. It wasn't like I had a hit tool and a fielding tool, but like I didn't have they like speed, power. That's what they like.
Right.
And they pay for speed and power, and they pay for a big arm. So that's kind of the tools they pay for. So I knew it was kind of going to be. Then I didn't end up getting drafted because my price was too much. I was on full ride in school, so I wasn't going to leave school for nothing.
Right.
So didn't end up getting drafted then, and then the following year I got drafted, and I knew it was going to be from the 25th to the 40th, somewhere in there, where they're just trying to sign some guys to fill roster spots, and hopefully you stick.
Was there anybody that was telling you like, hey, if you're here, there, if you're available here, we're going to take you? Anything like that?
No, I can't really like the draft is just mine. It's just you don't know anything that's going on. Like they don't tell you anything. Even the top rounders, like they don't get told anything. Like all of a sudden your agent might be working on a deal with you, like a deal with a team like in the late 4th round, but all of a sudden and he's trying to like work out higher money in the 4th round, and then all of a sudden you get taken to the 3rd round for slot money, and it's like, well, you have to accept it. You don't have a choice once you're drafted. You can ask for more money, but you don't really have a choice. So you really don't know anything that's going on. Like I had no idea the Angels were going to take me until about 20 minutes before the Angels took me, so right. You don't really know. You know the teams you talked to, but honestly, I didn't talk to the Angels. I filled out a questionnaire for the Angels, but I didn't really talk to them face to face at all during the whole process of the draft and all that. So I was more surprised.
Did you have any like little ceremony going on at home with the mom, dad, or anything like that?
No, we kind of just went out to dinner, celebrated after, nothing crazy. And then honestly, the next day I left. It was crazy.
Oh, wow,
it was just the craziest
quick, huh?
thing ever. Yeah, it was because our season started, I think 3 or 4 days after the draft. So they had us out in Utah literally the day after the draft.
Right. Exciting, nerve-wracking, similar to college?
Exciting. It was just, yeah, I mean, it was super exciting, but kind of nerve-wracking too. I had just got engaged too, so that was like, it was just a bunch of kind of big moments just in like the matter of a month or so. So yeah, it was just a crazy month. But yeah, super exciting, and I kind of raked that summer, and then I pretty much have gotten the chance to keep playing since then. So kind of just been doing my thing.
Right on. Who got the first hug after you got the call?
I don't even know.
I was trying to see. Did mom get it, or did the fiance get it?
She wasn't there at the time. She was in Texas. So yeah, it was long distance until we got married. So yeah, no, it would have been mom, dad, or probably my mom or my dad.
Right on.
You got siblings?
Yeah. I got a younger brother who's he graduated college a couple of years ago. He played baseball, soccer. He played all the sports growing up in high school, not in college though.
All right.
Sorry, I got the music in my headphones, so I get distracted sometimes.
Yeah, I got a ton of questions, but yeah, you know what I saw? I was real curious. What's kind of been your favorite memory so far as a minor leaguer? What's something that kind of stands out for you?
As a minor leaguer, I mean, for me, I would say I can't really pinpoint getting drafted is the coolest thing ever. I think one of the coolest things that for me, in my career that I got to do was I got to play in the fall league, which it's like a prospect league. So usually it's your first, second, third rounders. It's all those like big money Latin guys that are in that. And I had a good year in 2018, and the Angels let me play in that league. So I thought that was really cool to play against all the top prospects from all over, like all the different organizations. And you got to play like on the same team as other guys, like other teams. So like I think it was the Red Sox, the Cubs, the A's, and the Tigers were with us. So it was pretty fun playing with those guys and against other teams.
So now that you're in the minors, do you try to model your own swing on your own, or did you try to build a foundation based on someone else's swing? So like I was seeing some video on you, and you have a really short stroke. You're really compact into the ball. Your stance is really different, but it looks very similar to a dude whose number you're rocking, number 27, right? So
he's got a little more power.
Yeah,
a little bit. That's a little bit. I mean, he holds his hands a little higher than you do. I did notice that on the swing, though. And it's actually one of the questions I was going to ask you, since you're rocking 27. Was that because of him, or was that just a roll of the dice?
No, I didn't even. Honestly, they just assigned us numbers this year. We didn't pick them. So you just got your locker, and I had 27. I was like, sweet, if I like this number, I can't even have it when I get up there. So.
That's funny.
So no, I mean, 27. For swing wise, I don't really model it after anyone. I kind of took. So after 2018, I mean, I know I have power in the tank. It's more just like tapping into it.
Mm-hmm.
And in 2018, I hit for decent average. I think I hit like 280, and I was on base a lot. I was at like 400.
Yeah.
So I get on a lot, but I wouldn't mind getting on a little less and like hitting more doubles. I'm not going to be a guy that's hitting homers all the time, but like if I get in the minors, if I could get 10 to 15 homers in a year, that would be good, because the big league balls are juiced. So doubles turn into homers in the big leagues, where in the minors, like you got to crush a ball to get it out.
Yeah.
So
that's what I was seeing.
It's tougher to hit homers in the minors. The lights aren't very good in the minors. It's just different, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I've noticed in double A, the lights are a lot better, especially than single A.
Okay.
So it gets a little bit easier to see at night for sure too.
I had a buddy named Gabe Lopez that played for the Yankees forever, right, in the minor leagues. And then he got traded to San Diego, but he was kind of roadblocked by Robinson Cano when he was with the Yankees, right? So he was a second baseman, stud, defensive player, right? Got as high as AAA, would go to spring training every single year with the Yankees, right? But just roadblocked. But he said, if I ever get a chance to go to pros, he said, I know I'll hit like 20 plus home runs, because like what you said, the fences are further, they're higher, the lighting, the balls are just juiced, and they fly out a little bit more.
It's crazy.
If you had to just throw a ballpark, or maybe like a plateau for you, or a benchmark, what do you think maybe some numbers you'd be able to try to strive for? You know, like, I don't know, and I'm just going to say something out there, like, 20 home runs, 80 RBIs, 80 runs scored, 280 average.
Yeah, I mean, I never really think about the run scorer or RBIs, because that's just kind of the circumstances you're put in. Like if there's no one on, like you're not going to have many RBIs and stuff. But I mean, I think my goal this year would be double-digit homers, for my minor leagues. Don't really think too much about RBIs. I just want to be on base as much as possible. Like I would like my OPS to be between 850 and 900. And I want my slugging to be as close to 500 as possible, which that has a little bit more to go. And then I want the on base to be as close to 400. Right. In the big leagues, though, I think the home run numbers just would automatically go up. That's personally, I think if you hit 10 in the minors, you're probably hitting 20 in the bigs, just because we take BP with the big league balls, and it's crazy the difference that it makes. Everyone's like, oh, it's not that big. There's a difference. There definitely is.
What about the wood bats? You think there's a difference with that too? Like, are you gonna have different bats when you go up to the majors as opposed to what you have access to right now in the minors?
I mean, like my agents do a good job of getting us good wood. So, but for the most part, there's big league. There's big league wood, and then there's wood that companies send like minor leaguers. Some of the bigger companies send like not as good wood to the minor leaguers, and then they keep better wood for the big leaguers. The smaller companies are usually better about trying to kind of disperse the big league wood amongst everyone, you know, because they're trying to make a name for themselves. They're trying to get the minor leaguers to be swinging the big league like that wood when they get to the big leagues. So
what are you swinging right now?
they're gonna so I swing Victus, and they're really good. Birdman just sent me a bat, and I like it a lot, and that's a small company out in California. And that wood is hard. I like that bat. And then I'll swing Dovetail too. Those are good. They're from Maine, so just kind of depends. I swing those axe handles typically. So
how do you like that compared to like a regular handle?
I like it just because it helps with my bottom hand. Helps me like kind of pull that through the zone. Where I always was top hand dominant, so it kind of makes my bottom hand work more in the swing. And also when I swing and miss, the knob doesn't rub on my hand and like cause that little blister down there. So that's kind of another reason why.
Right. I know you said you wanted your OPS up around 9. You're at 826 right now for the season so far. I mean, that's a good start.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not bad. Definitely, I mean, I've missed a couple homers by just fly us the warning track, or I've hit the top of the wall a couple times. So like that, obviously that goes from a double to a homer, like a couple extra bases right there. So that's big. And then, yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I'm striving for. I mean, everyone's got those goals, but I don't really I just want to kind of go out there and have 4 good at bats every night. You know, like it's not really sometimes they're just going to get you, you know, sometimes the pitchers get you and you're well pitched and you don't really get anything over the middle part of the plate to do any sort of damage with. So it's not like you can't create doubles and homers. You just they throw doubles and homers. You don't create them, you know?
Yeah.
Right. Where are you hitting in the lineup right now?
I hit 4th usually.
Oh, you're right in the middle. All right. Yeah.
That
makes sense. So you kind of get the best of every pitcher then.
Yeah. Usually we get a good mix because there'll be typically a couple at bats. I'll have someone on base, you know. So I'll get, especially in runners in scoring position, it's kind of a mix of everything, you know. They're not trying to make mistakes. So
you got
what was it?
You got any teammates that you're kind of working out with, or you kind of like, man, I really like the way this dude plays, or you know, anything like that?
I mean, I just look up to a couple of our we got some dudes on our team. I'm kind of more the contact. I'll get it over the fence a couple times, but we got some dudes with some pop on this team. I think we lead all AA in homers.
Oh, damn.
And we got a kid named Izzy Wilson. I think he's got 11 right now or 10, and he hits the snot out of the ball. And then Ibendel Isabel is from the Dominican, and he pretty much he hits 25 a year. So, and when he hits them, it's 450
no
every time. Yeah, no doubters. He watches them land and then runs. And then we got Mitch Ney, who it's just fun to watch them. When they connect, the ball is just hit so hard. So it's fun to watch them hit. Yeah.
I know you said you bat 4th normally. I know the first game for the Trash Pandas as far as in franchise history, because they're a brand new team this year. Yeah. I know you guys lost that first game 6-1, but you did get the very first at bat or first base hit too for the team. How did you? It was a single to right field, right?
It was the center.
It was the center. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you get the chance to keep that ball? How was that feeling when you got that first hit for the franchise? You're always going to be the first franchise hit, you know, in Trash Pandas history.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I wasn't even thinking so much about that. It was more for me, it was my first real at bat in 2 years because of my knee injury in 2019. So that was more kind of I remember during the national anthem, my heart was kind of pounding. It was first meaningful at bat. And then we're also facing Hunter Green that night, whose throw was 104. So
how's that feel?
It was
standing right there in the batter's box and watching 104 come at you.
You just hope it's over the middle part of the plate, you know. If it's not middle,
Don't
you
blink.
can't hit it. Yeah, no, it's like a. Just imagine a pitching machine like as fast as possible from about 45 feet away, and that's what it looks like.
Jesus.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was fun. Honestly, I just got jammed bad, but it was a knock.
Hey, it works. It works.
104 gets on you quick, you know.
Did
So,
you get to keep the ball? Or
No, I don't know. Honestly, I bet you Trash Pandas kept that ball. I don't know though.
right on.
I mean, I have no idea where that ball is or what happened to it, but yeah, no, I guess I got the first at bat, the first hit, and the first run. So it's kind of cool, you know. It's cool to be part of a.
You got another
new...
first, and I'm gonna get into that one a little bit later.
Okay.
But I want to ask you a couple questions because I know you said you had that knee injury, so it kind of it kind of plays into what I was going to ask you. Last year, obviously, the shutdown, nobody really played in the minors. I know everybody had kind of like those side squads just in case somebody went down or because of COVID or whatever happened.
Yep.
What were you doing during that? During the COVID, since you were recovering from an injury, what was your kind of routine to kind of try and stay as fit as possible for when you were going to return to the field, especially being that it was a pandemic?
Yeah, so I think last year, so 2019, right, like a week after spring training, like we broke and I tore my ACL, like tore everything in my knee. So I got surgery. I was out there pretty much the entire 2019 season. 2020, I got cleared in 2020 in February, so I was good to go for spring training, which I was good to go, but I wasn't really. It didn't feel 100%, but I was good enough to play, and my knee was just sore still. So it's kind of a blessing in disguise that we all got sent back home. So once I got the whole rehab process, once I was able to hit again, I kind of dove into different positions that some of the top hitters in the MLB get to. And the only thing that I found in common was when their front heel hits the ground, it's like almost the exact same position for every hitter. And that's like Mookie Betts, Mike Trout, Tatis, Guerrero, like all the best hitters in the MLB. Once their front heel hits the ground, both feet are on the ground. Like their back heel hasn't come up yet. Their hands are just about shoulder width or shoulder height. They're not higher. Once they land, they're pretty much shoulder height, and then that's when they start their move down towards the ball. But everything, like their chest, their hips, their toes, like their knees, everything's still facing the other batter's box. So that's kind of what I noticed with my swing at the time. Everything was I would start my rotation before my front foot had been down, which would cause me to lose a lot of room for error. Like it had to be on perfect time in order to hit the ball good, and cause me to lose power too. So, I mean, I found that once I had to figure out how to obviously do that with my body, especially with my new knee, and get the strength back with my knee. But once I started to figure that out, I've been able to like wait a lot longer and hit velocity better and like stay on off speed pitches better. And I think that's why I'm hitting for average better. And I also have more doubles like to this point of the season, and 3 homers. It's nothing crazy yet, but I mean, I think they're going to be coming at some point soon. I have more power than I used to. I hit the ball harder than I used to. So all my the numbers that the StatCast numbers, that they're all better than they used to be. So I think that's the biggest thing that's kind of what I worked on. And then when I went home, I just continued to work on that. So yeah, once we went home, first 2 months we did hit with my brother-in-law and father-in-law in Texas. And then once it kind of sounded like we weren't going to be doing a minor league season, there was going to be a taxi squad, and I wasn't on that taxi squad. I went home with my wife to Massachusetts, visited my family because it's a little warm. It's a little nicer in Massachusetts than Houston, Texas during the summer. So kind of hung out. Yeah, exactly. Lifted a lot, and then I kind of hit 2 or 3 times a week during the summer, and kind of had to wait it out until 2021.
I was seeing your brother-in-law's a minor leaguer too for Boston.
Yeah, he's in AAA for the Red Sox now.
Okay,
he
what's
was
his
with
name?
the Dodgers.
Connor. I think Connor is what I saw.
Connor, yeah. He was with the Dodgers, and then he got traded when Betts went over. He went to the Red Sox.
Okay. Connor, what's the last name?
Wong.
Wong? Okay.
Yeah, Wong.
All right.
Now I know you said you went back home with your wife to Massachusetts during obviously last year for the pandemic, since you weren't on that travel squad. Was your wife excited to get you out of the house and back on the field when this season came around?
Yeah, I think she was. She likes doing the whole traveling thing too, though. Like she likes to. This is the first year she isn't traveling, just because she has a full-time job now. So it'd be kind of a lot. But yeah, she definitely likes me not going crazy. Like I'll be going golfing or going to the driving range every single day at home. Like, so I'm not on the golf course anymore as much. Well, nowhere near as much when I'm playing baseball, obviously. So my mind's more on baseball and not going crazy as much. Yeah, definitely drive her crazy when I'm not playing 140 games a year.
I heard you say you played a little golf. What's your best score on a 72?
I got 78. Yeah, so I broke 80, but I mean, I just started golfing this past summer, so it was quick.
Now you make me feel
bad. I got pretty good
because I just started golfing because Artie got me into golfing, and I'm hitting I'm absolutely terrible. I've slowly gotten my number down, but I'm still in the triple digits, so we're very, very far off. For you to get it right away, I'm pissed off.
No,
now,
I mean,
man.
yeah, but I do hit baseballs for a living. So.
This is true.
Yeah, when the ball's not moving, it's easier to hit for me. It's the chipping and the chipping. That's what's killing me right now.
Everybody can whack a ball. It's the intricate ones that you gotta get a little harder.
Yeah, the one you just gotta put near the hole.
Have you ever gone to the Top Golf thing? Me and Brent went to hit that up a couple weeks ago. Have you ever done that?
Oh, dude, yeah, those are fun. We actually have one. Like, there's not much to do in North Alabama here. It's beautiful, but there's not too much in this area. But there's a Top Golf right down the street, so we'll go there sometimes and just whack some balls, and then
anything like that viral Mike Trout that he hit it and he just fucking soared over the fence. You hit one like that yet?
We have one pitcher that can just. I mean, I can't hit the ball like that. But we have one pitcher that's like 6'8", and he can he can hit a ball far. He's probably like 330, 340 off the tee. So
Jesus.
It's fun to watch him hit the ball.
Damn.
My back hurts just thinking about that going.
I know.
I know you share a locker room with Torrey Hunter Jr. Has Senior ever come by the locker room, talk to you guys, or if you were able to pick anybody's brain, anybody like from the majors that have come down to kind of watch you guys or whatnot? Like, has anybody instilled some knowledge on there for you?
Yeah, Mr. Hunter's come. Not this year, but he's come out a couple. Like, I saw him I think once or twice in 18, and then once in 19. And yeah, he'll come out and he'll talk to us, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to listen to him. It's a potential Hall of Famer. And yeah, it's the dude knows so much, you know. So I mean, he played in the big leagues for
ever
almost 20 years. Yeah, literally forever.
So, what do you think? Maybe one thing or two things that you've taken away from the couple interactions that you've had with him.
Pretty much just like to me, it sounded like he just like it wasn't really. He didn't really ever think too much about when he was struggling. He would just try to grind through it, work through it. Like, it wasn't really anything. Like, he just want to keep his hip closed, and he made it sound way easier than I think it is, just because, you know, he's a 20-year vet. But yeah, I mean, he just simplified things at the plate, like a lot of the big leaguers do, you know. Like, I know some, like when Pujols would explain hitting to some of the minor league guys with us, he'd say, all I do is bring my hands to the ball. And like, that's literally what it looks like Pujols does, you know, but in his head, that's all he does. Like Trout says he swings down to the ball. In his head, that's what he does, you know? So you can't like overanalyze your swing or overthink like what you're trying to do. You got to have some pretty simple thoughts when 95's coming at you. You can't be thinking too hard because there's no chance you're going to be hitting that ball if you're thinking hard.
Gotcha.
Down in the minors, do you still follow a lot of the pros? Do you have that kind of time, or how's that work? Because I
Like
know,
the big leaguers.
yeah, just in
Who do
general.
you
Because I know
follow?
last year, yeah, like what do you follow? How do you follow them? Like, you follow baseball in general, or you follow the Angels, and you're hoping maybe you can
Yeah, I
move up
mean, you kind of
levels?
just so I mean, every night after, because you got friends at every level. So every night
Okay,
after, I'll go check every team, every affiliate we have, see
okay,
how everyone did, see how my buddies are doing. I'll check in on some of my other buddies from different teams. And yeah, I mean, I definitely I just follow my friends that I've played with growing up, So and like that I train with in the off season. And yeah, you obviously followed the big league club a little bit, but and now it's a little more fun to follow the big league club because I've played with and I've been in spring training with a lot of the guys that are now making it up there because we have some guys they've developed and actually are adding value to our team now, like Ward, Walshy, Rojas was up there for a while. Chris Rodriguez, I rehabbed with
that
him.
dude's ridiculous,
He
man.
he just got
Rodriguez.
T-Rod?
he just got
Jeez.
sent back down today. He's over there actually with you guys and the Trash
Yeah, he's with
Pandas.
us.
He got sent over there today. He's pretty excited. I know I talked about this the other day, but real quick, I took my youngest. He's 7 months old to his first baseball game, and we were sitting over there by the bullpen. And I kind of yelled out to Chris, and I kind of held him up. I'm like, "Can he get a ball?" And he was kind enough to grab a ball and throw it out to us. So I actually framed it. I took a picture of the because my little son was holding the ball. So I took a picture of it, put his name on it, and said, Chris Rodriguez, the date, and everything like that. So he was really, he seemed really nice, man. He seems very intense, and I hope he gets better a lot faster. I know he got sent back down. He's just trying to figure his approach right now. I think he didn't do
Yeah,
too
I
well
don't know. I
yesterday.
don't know the reasoning behind anything. They don't obviously tell us any of that, but he's probably one of the nicest kids I've ever met. He's super intense when he's playing, but yeah, he's a teddy bear when he's not playing, and like he's younger too, so he'll be getting picked on even in Double A. Even though he'll be the big leaguer, he'll get picked on in Double A. So
That's funny.
I'm gonna quote you on that one. He is a teddy bear. All right, we're good to go.
Who's probably the dude you're closest to that has made it the furthest? It doesn't have to be like someone that you made it like to the pros, but who's someone maybe you're really close with that you're like, man, he's in AAA and he's on the verge, or maybe someone did make it.
I mean, C-Rod was probably the guy I was closest to this past offseason, just because we rehabbed together for like an entire year.
Okay.
And then we played together in 17 and then 19 we both got hurt in high A together. So then we rehabbed together. So C-Rod was, yeah, me and my wife, like we would go on hikes with him all the time. Like he's just a good kid.
Nice.
He would come over for dinner to my aunt and uncle's house during rehab. So it was kind of cool to see him get up there and get that opportunity because we didn't think he was going to break camp with the big league team. We thought, okay, like he goes to big league training, comes to Double A or Triple A, and hopefully he moves up. But
Let's see, where were we here? You were talking about you hanging out with C-Rod.
C-Rod. And then we got Marshy too. Brendan Marsh.
Mm-hmm.
So I played with him a lot.
Right.
I played a lot with him.
Is he up with the team?
No, he's not up in the bigs right now.
Okay.
I think he's rehabbing. I think he's rehabbing his shoulder right now. He was in Salt Lake, and then shoulder was acting up or something. So I think he's just rehabbing. Hopefully he'll be back soon.
He's got that big beard growing right now.
Yeah, he's got to shave that. But
you play MLB The Show or anything like that?
No, I only play Fortnite. Honestly, I try to stay away from baseball as much as possible after we're away from the field.
So I had never heard of the Trash Pandas, as I didn't know they were a minor league team. But this dude that's a famous, kind of like, he's not super famous, but like a YouTuber, someone that just creates content for like different stuff, right? So he creates. I play MLB The Show a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
And his name is Ance Lamstrong, right? Like the opposite of Lance Armstrong. But he rocks Trash Panda jerseys. And so I was like, hey, any connection there? Like, is it a team you follow? I just thought it was cool. I had seen him, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, all right, cool. I said, because we got a dude named David coming on, Mackinnon. And is it Mackinnon or Mackinnon?
Mackinnon.
Mackinnon, all right.
Yep.
Yeah, and I just told him that you were coming on. And I was like, oh, okay. He's like, nah, I just worries. I thought they were cool, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't know it was a minor league team. I thought it was just something he created.
Honestly, we got some good stuff. They do a good job with the jerseys.
Yeah,
we got some
I really
options
like
for
that
jerseys.
that camo. I don't know if you see, but I was in the Marines for 8 years. I really like that camo jersey. That's the one I was telling you about before. I was like, hey, dude, I've tried, and they don't sell. They're not selling them right now, or
they
sell
literally
out.
don't.
Yeah. So
whenever
they do, you let me know so I can order one.
Oh yeah, we have probably like, I don't know, like maybe 8 or 9 jerseys in the shop, and they're all like double X, triple X, like quadruple X.
Thank God, I'm a double X, man.
Triple and quadruple.
Oh damn,
they're triple and
quadruple.
Too big. Yeah, no, they're huge. Like they're big. I just don't think like they did millions of dollars in sales last year during COVID. They did a good job. So
yeah.
I don't know when they're gonna get jerseys back.
Well, keep an eye out for me and Artie whenever they do come out. Make sure they're at number 27.
And everyone else from home that wants one.
I mean, I'm not asking for a free one. I'll pay for that dang thing.
Oh, no, I know. But they're all like, everyone's like, yo, let me know when the jerseys are back in stock. I'm like, all right. I'll send out a group message of 100.
There you go. Let's see. Yesterday for Father's Day, the Trash Pandas had a doubleheader, right?
Yes.
How do you feel about the new rule going to 7 innings when it's a doubleheader? Do you feel like it helps you stay a little bit fresher? I know you didn't play the first game. You played the second game, right?
No, I didn't play yesterday. I popped my shoulder out a couple days ago. So I won't play till Wednesday.
Okay. That's why? See, that's why on the on your stats it said the 18th was the last day, or the last.
Yeah,
time
it's the last day I've played.
All right. How do you feel about the doubleheader, the 7-inning doubleheaders? Do you feel like that would help people stay a little bit fresher? It moves the game along, or are you kind of a purist and want to keep that at 9 innings?
No, I think 7's good. From a baseball player's perspective, no one wants to play 18 innings. It's so hard on your body to be there because no one understands that we don't show up an hour before the game. Like you're there for a doubleheader, you'll probably be there 3 hours before the game. So you're not gonna be there for a full day, but that's 3 hours before the game. You're taking a bunch of swings. You might get a little lift in, activation. And then you do all that stuff, and then two 9-inning games is just a lot on your body. And it's not like you're running the whole time, but you're standing the whole time. You know, you're running out to the field, you're coming back, you're hitting. That would be 8 to 10 at bats if you're playing 18 innings, and I mean, say you hit it's a lot of sprinting if you hit a couple ground balls, you know. So I think it'll keep guys fresher and healthier, which is good for baseball. You really don't want your studs getting hurt, especially if they don't need to be getting hurt, because 18 innings is just a lot. It's a lot of baseball. Even like 14 innings is a lot of baseball, honestly.
What's your pregame routine like? You kind of just mentioned it right now. Like, well, what do you do? What do you get there 3 hours before? You eat before you get there? Or what's up?
In the minors, it's not really. You get it's more scheduled. Like in the big leagues, they have a little more leeway with what they want to do. Minors is a little different. Like you kind of have to be at certain places at certain times. Okay. But say you don't want to do cage work, you don't got to do cage work if you don't want it. Like if your body's tired. Usually I'll lift twice a week, 2 or 3 times a week, depending on how my body feels. You know, like my shoulder, if it keeps if it got dislocated, like I'm not going to be doing too much upper body stuff this week. So it'll adjust based on that. But typically for a home game, because you take BP before the away team, we'll show up for a 6:30 game at like 1:30. Cage work's at 2. That's like early cage work. Plus stretch around 3:15. BP at 3:30. That'll be with infield stuff, like you get grounders. And then we will eat pregame and hang out. And then right around 5:45, we'll go back up to the cage, take some pregame swings for like 10 minutes, and then head out for the game.
What's your diet
like? Long
day. They set it up for you, or you kind of pick or choose, or how's that work? Especially at the minors, I'm kind of curious with that.
Yeah, minors is different. As you go higher and higher up, you get better and better food. Mm-hmm. So like the lower levels, is obviously not as good. And then as you get higher and higher, closer to the big leagues, the food gets better and better.
You getting like soup down there or what?
Advanced.
He's not answering that quickly.
Like
Short
sometimes.
season. Yeah. I mean, rookie ball wasn't the best for food wise, just because there's so many dudes and there's just not that much food, so you're not getting too much. But yeah, here, like double A, like we get fed pretty good. And then you get per diem on the road. So you have a little extra money to spend on the road for snacks and still hungry.
What's your go-to?
For me, like on the road,
Yeah.
I mean, it just depends on what's around, like Tennessee, when we go to Smokies, the Cubs affiliate that's in Kodak, Tennessee, it's like the middle of nowhere. There's literally a Cracker Barrel and Taco Bell. So it's like you get two options.
All right. So which one is it?
Taco Bell or Cracker Barrel?
Taco Bell for breakfast or Cracker Barrel for breakfast, Taco Bell for dinner.
There you go. That
makes
works.
sense.
Yeah, you just gotta. Yeah, I mean, so you just gotta whatever's around. There's other places that there's good restaurants around, but there's just some places that you just gotta kind of grind it out.
Speaking of food, real quick, I know at the stadium they have what's called the dumpster wrap. Have you had one of those yet?
No, I don't want to have a heart attack.
It looks bad. They didn't say what was in it because I saw it on the Twitter. But I was like, oh my god, there's a sausage in there,
like
fries,
chili cheese.
Oh my god,
it looks so bad. People like it though.
Hey, it is. You might have to try at least a bite just to let us know what it's like.
I might. Yeah, they did say they wanted to give us like a half each after a game just to try it. I don't know if I'm gonna eat it. That does not look good for me.
Just take a bite and be like, "Oh yeah, that was good."
Yeah, I'll take a bite. I will not do much more than that though.
Hey, what's some? Have you had any cool fan interaction things where you've had to do as a minor leaguer? Because I know they're always trying to push that at the minor leagues. I remember going as a little kid, meeting minor leaguers. Like, have you had anything cool that you're like, man, that was pretty cool?
Well, here it's kind of crazy. Like they've been waiting so long to have a team here now. And now we're here, and so we'll go to Jersey Mike's, and the people there know us by name now because they go to the owners go to the games all the time. They're they'll give us coupons for free subs, and we'll go to Top Golf, and everyone knows us at Top Golf. And it's just crazy. People just see you around here. You feel like they just know you. They're you're in the Trash Pandas. They know you by name. They'll just all of a sudden come up to you at a restaurant. So
yeah.
It's a little different, I haven't really had that experience before, so that's a little bit different. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Nothing crazy fan wise. The classic kids just begging for balls. Can I have a ball? Can I have a ball? Can I have a ball?
Yeah. I remember when I was a kid, I went to Long Beach and I had to do a pickle, and they had the minor leaguers get involved with the pickle. Do they do anything like that with you and the kids or anything like that on the field?
We won't get I know tomorrow before we leave, a couple of us are going to talk to the kids camp and they can do a question and answer.
Okay.
So nothing crazy really. There are kid camps where you can work the kids camp. I don't think they're doing that here, but because of COVID, COVID stuff, they don't want us around too much.
Right, that makes sense.
They used to do that. But no, usually I'll just go out pre-game, sign some autographs, and then if I have time after the game and people want autographs, I'll hang out after. But other than that, nothing crazy,
All right, cool.
All right. Speaking of the Trash Pandas and being at the stadium, there's another little piece of history that you have made for the Trash Pandas. Not only were you the Trash Pandas' first official hit in the franchise, and you recorded the first official run for the franchise. A few weeks ago, you guys were playing the Smokies, and you were also able to etch your name in a little more Trash Panda history, becoming the first player on the team to hit a walk-off grand slam.
Mm-hmm.
How did that feel hitting that walk-off? I watched it 4 or 5 times. I just wanted to see your swing, whatever. It looked like he threw you a breaking ball, and it looked like it was.
I'll tell you
that's also tell you. Walk us through that, man.
Yeah, so it was the 13th inning, and neither team had pitching left, so catchers had to come in and pitch. So it was a catcher throwing. That's why it looked like a breaking ball. Yeah, so they scored a run, and then they had a catcher come out because there was no pitching left, and we got a couple singles, and we ended up tying it, and then like we had bases loaded, and I was like, all I need to do is hit the baseball like in the air, like just hit the ball in the air. It's a sac fly and we win. Like that's all I need to do. And usually when I'm hitting against a position player, I'll just drill like almost every time. I don't want to swing and miss, so I just am really early and I just drill it in the ground. And so I just told myself like, just be later, like hit the ball in the air to center field, and like the game's over. And he just threw a ball like really, I think it was probably like 65 miles per hour, like inside. And I tried to hit a fly ball to center field, and it just ended up going over the fence. So yeah, it was funny. It was funny.
Yeah, you looked like you had a big old smile coming around that getting into home plate.
So. Oh yeah, I was like, the ball coming in that slow, I didn't think I could hit the ball that far. So I was I surprised myself. I was like, oh wow.
Now, was that your first Grand Slam?
Since probably Little League, I would say. That's my first walk-off homer.
Oh, there you go.
Since Little League, yeah. So that's
Right on. Well, congratulations.
Hey, do you see a lot of position players a lot? Then you kind of made it sound like you kind of see those a lot.
Yeah, if you have a blowout game or you have just a like extra inning game in the minors, you'll see it more often. Oh, just because they're like lots of guys are on pitch counts. And like they won't let them throw more than a certain amount of pitches. So once they get there, it's like, all right, we don't have anyone left. Like the backup catcher goes in or something.
Right. I was telling
you'll see it more often in the minors.
I was telling Brent, what do you think of the idea? I just threw it out there. I was just always throwing out dumb shit, right? But I was telling him, what do you think of the idea of blowouts? Of like having that 10-run mercy rule at like 7 innings or something, right?
We literally had this conversation the other day with the other team.
And I said, why not give like the team that wins like 0.5 of a win? You know what I'm saying? Like 1.5 wins for the standings or something like that. I don't know, just throwing out ideas.
Or like even like an extra stat or something that says like instead of like just like blowout win or something like to get into the playoffs. Like, all right, they had 4 blowout wins.
Right. There you go.
That would be a good
That's a good because what the fuck's the point, dude? Like at that point, like you said, you have innings on your body, right?
We've had I had one time I had to go in and pitch in 2018.
Oh shit.
I remember my arm was I actually got a win.
Oh shit.
It was funny.
Take it.
But yeah, I remember going in there and my arm was like it was the All-Star break, the last day before the All-Star break, and my arm was hanging the next couple of days. And like I wasn't even throwing hard, like you're just throwing down the mound. And I wasn't lobbing it like that dude was, but like I was throwing like 80.
Oh, that's what I was gonna tell you. What do you top out at? What do you think? I know you're throwing 80, but what do you think you top out at? Maybe now.
Now I blow out my arm. But if I was to train it again, like in high school when I was training and everything, I was like 80. Like my senior year, I was 87 to 90.
Okay.
So like if I continued to trade it, it would have probably improved, But I just remember the pain. My arm was always in after I just didn't feel good ever. So became a hitter. But yeah, no, I mean, me and some of the guys were talking about that because we lost the game like 17-2. And you're on your feet. If you're in the field, you're on your feet for a long time.
Right.
And then it becomes the other team gets 7 or 8 at-bats in that game, and you get like 4 at-bats dispersed amongst 4 hours. It's tough to stay in the rhythm, and it's just those are tough days, especially for the fans too. They just they're booing you, like they're booing your home team. Like they don't like being there either. So
what did you? I know you said you guys talked about it. I mean, what was discussed, or what were you guys kind of throw a spitball in?
We were just saying we were. Other guys were like, "Dang, these games are the worst, and they're winning." And I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, it's not fun being out here either." And they're like, yeah, and we have to hit like 7 times. So like you go 2 for 7, doesn't even feel like that good of a game. And I was like, yeah, that's true. And we were just thinking like, I mean, at this point, like you could technically do like just a 7-run, like a 7 inning game. Like if it's 10 runs after 7 innings, just save the pitching staff, because all of a sudden you're having like you're stretching dudes out to try to get them through innings that they probably can't get through,
That's where dudes
used to throwing. Yeah, exactly. A dude's used to throwing 40 pitches, but like it took them 35 to get through one inning, and we still need to get to the ninth inning. So they stretch them out another 2 innings. That's when injuries will happen. So I think I think it's a valid idea, you know?
All right.
Look at
You
that.
swinging
Already
3-0
does a
or not?
game.
Are you
What
swinging
was it?
3-0 up 10 or what?
3-0. No. We will not be allowed to swing 3-0 up 10, especially against a position player. That would be bad.
Swinging 3-1 though.
3-1, yeah.
All right.
You gotta. But yeah, I mean, 3-0. If it's a close game too, you gotta swing. If it's there, middle, it's got to be right down the middle. You know.
Artie, you came up with a good idea. See, even they're talking about it, man.
That's dude.
Oh yeah, no, that's been talked about a decent amount. Like whenever there's a blowout, the guys are talking about that one.
Yeah, like it just makes sense, you know. Like it just fucking makes sense. I think it'll cut a lot of the drama bullshit you see at the major league level too.
Well, yeah, and you won't be having to throw position players, which hurts them.
And one of the worst things that I've ever seen happen is when fucking, I don't know if you remember a few years ago in the All-Star game where like they literally had to walk over to the commissioner and be like, hey, we're out of pitching. And they're like, all right, game over, tie game. Everybody go home. I don't even remember that. It was in Milwaukee,
I do remember that.
It was in Milwaukee
I do remember that.
happened. So I'm like, like you just got to come up with stuff like that, you know?
Mm-hmm. Well, that was another good thing that they did with the extra innings. They put the guy on second base now.
Yeah.
How do you feel about
That's
that?
a good
do you
idea.
like that?
Yeah, just because like it's so. I mean, you can go a long time without scoring a run if you just straight up play a game, you know. Yeah. So it's just putting the guy on second base. It just kind of comes down to who's going to execute better. You can bunt him over if you want,
that's what I was going to ask you. How they handle that in the minors? Do they do a lot of bunting? Because at the major league levels, I feel like bunting's becoming extinct.
Yeah, it's not much bunting. It's there's a couple guys in the lineup that'll bunt, but other than that, it's mostly swing. You know, there's a couple guys, maybe your 8-9 hole hitter might bunt, but other than that, and they're not bunting the whole game. They'll bunt in an extra inning situation, maybe. That's about it. So like, it's pretty much bunt for a hit, or every once in a while you'll sack if it's a late game.
Okay.
But most of the time they'll take your chances and try to get a hit because you're in scoring position for second anyway. So it kind of comes down to who can clutch up at the end of the game. So I like that rule. It can obviously drag out because if teams both keep scoring runs, then you keep going. But I think the game will end more often within the first couple innings.
Right.
That.
Makes sense. Yeah, I liked it too. I thought it was simple and just. Yeah, Brent wanted a fucking home run derby after. You know,
I said I wasn't opposed to it.
You ever been in a home run derby?
I mean, Little League. That's about it. Nothing crazy. That's where swings go to die.
Who do you like? I know Ohtani's going to be in the home run derby, but who would you like to see out there batting with them or playing against them in the home run derby in Colorado?
I don't know. I mean, Ohtani is cool just because he put obviously I've seen him hit in spring training. He's one of the most impressive batting practices ever. So he's not going to have to change anything to hit homers. And in a batting practice situation, a lot of those guys have to change to try to pull everything to hit homers. Where in a game, you can just kind of hit it and they go to right field if it's outside, center field if it's middle, or left field if it's more inner. Where in BP setting, they're trying to create extra power. So they're trying to pull things. And I think that's where the swings get all screwed up. And Ohtani doesn't do that. He hits the ball far everywhere, no matter what. It doesn't matter. In BP, he can hit the ball opposite field or dead center or pull side. So I think he's going to have he's going to do really well. And he hits some moon shots. So that'll be fun to watch. I mean, it would be nice to see Acuna in it, but I don't think he'll do it again.
That's what I said, right?
You did?
Yeah, I think he did it last year or 2 years ago, and I don't think he's going to do it again. I don't know. I don't see any big names really doing it. Yeah.
Some dudes struggle with that. Like my favorite player was Piazza, right? He did it and he didn't even hit a home run when he did it. I think he even swung and missed one time. He even swung and missed. He's like, that was the most embarrassing thing ever. You know?
BP swing and miss.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some stuff going on right now in major leagues. And this is something I told you about before. What are your thoughts on the recent approach from MLB on the sticky substance crackdown? I know that Artie and I had talked about this on the last show, but we can only speculate, like I told you before, on how it affects things on the field. So hearing it from someone who faces real pitching is actually a good insight for us, the listeners, and everybody else out there. And we don't obviously want to put you in any kind of sticky situation, pun intended. But have you seen any pitchers on your team or teams you've played with or opposite team who've used stuff other than the rosin bag? No names, obviously, but and how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think in baseball in general, like all over baseball, it not so much in college, but as you get to professional baseball, like you definitely know that dudes are using it because the ball's slicker in professional baseball. Like it's 100% slicker, and they rub it up with some mud that makes it even more slicker. So, the first problem is they're rubbing it up with mud that makes the ball, like once it dries, it gets even slippery, or I don't even know, more slippery.
There you go.
So that's the first problem. So now you're rubbing up with something that doesn't give you any sort of grip. So guys are trying to get some sort of grip. Rosin is sticky for sure, but some dudes sweat a lot, so they want to use something more. I think the problem comes when dudes are in the like throwing bullpens and they throw a pitch and they see the spin rate on that pitch with the technology they're given, and then they try to put on like a different type of substance on their fingers to see if the pitch gets better because of the new substance on their fingers. And then, oh wow, like my spin rate went up 200 RPMs. Like I'm going to do that. I'm going to try like the spider tack now. Oh, it went up another 100. So now all of a sudden your average fastball at 2,200 RPMs is spinning at an elite major league level at like 2,600 RPMs because you didn't do anything different. You're just cheating. You're just creating more friction on the ball with the substance. So I think that's the problem where like, you're not supposed to doctor the baseball. Like the rule is like, you're not supposed to add substance to the baseball. Yes, we don't want to get hit in the head, but you guys are like, most pitchers hit us in the head anyway, still with their substance, So, I think the biggest thing is like rosin is sticky. I don't think you need to use pine tar. I don't think, because I have noticed over like this year, I've noticed some curveballs and fastballs that like one just comes at you, the fastball's coming here, and then all of a sudden goes up, which means they're pulling down harder, creating more friction. And I noticed the dudes are, and like I haven't seen these type of fastballs. Like I've seen a lot of fastballs before and a lot of curveballs in my life, but I haven't seen the type of depth to them that I have seen this year. So I do think there needs to be a change because I'm a pretty good hitter. I got pretty good eyes. I don't usually swing and miss like bad, but like there are certain at bats where I was like, what? Like I don't even know what that was. Like I haven't seen that pitch before. Like it broke the last 2 feet, like 3 feet. It like 58 feet from the pitcher's hand. It broke 3 feet like down. So for me, I think get a good grip and know where it's going, but don't get a grip, like don't get such a grip that like you can rip a curveball so good that like, I think that's cheating in my opinion. Like if my hitting coach said it best, if you guys are going to do that, let us cork our bats so when we hit it, it goes farther.
Well, I know Artie brought up a valid point. Let them put whatever they want on the ball, give them the composite bats, and let's even the playing field.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's one or the other. Like,
yeah.
That's fine with me. Because I'm hitting it right now as is. So
there you go.
Extra distance I wouldn't mind some extra distance.
Give someone in the stands a trash can. We're good.
Exactly. That's probably why the Astros needed it.
So here's my other question, because me and Artie were trying to kind of explain it to each other on how the friction, as you were calling it, on the baseball using that, let's just say spider tack, how that is going to make the ball move the spin better. Like how does that create that for those uninitiated who obviously don't play big league ball or professional ball that we, obviously I don't think anybody, I played a one season of adult league, already played in college. We're not seeing those types of things, how does that translate? Like explain I guess I don't want to say the science behind it, but explain how that
Yeah.
actually works.
Yeah, I'll do my best. But so I think big league average. Well, so like when we get scouting reports, it just says like spin rates and vertical break and all that stuff. And pretty much what it means is like your average spin rate in the big leagues is about 2,300. So per like spin rate is how many times the ball rotates per minute. So on average, a big league fastball rotates 2,300 times per minute. If it's above that, it has the perception that that ball is continuing to like stay flat. It's not, gravity's not taking it down as fast. So the vertical break is now higher. I think average vertical break is 16 inches. So it looks like it's kind of staying up, or 15 inches. So if you're above 15 inches, it really looks like your ball's kind of rising. Where if you're below, it's kind of like gravity's affecting it and coming down. So a lot of sinker ballers are like lower than that. Their spin rates are also lower, but like a Bauer, he's like a 2,500, 2,600 spin rate guy. So that ball looks like it, as it gets halfway there, it almost looks like it takes an extra burst and goes up. So like the better grip you can get, the harder you can now pull down on it with your fingers, creating that ball to spin backwards. And if you can create the same axis, like straight back, that creates extra. We call it ride. Okay. Like it just boom, like kind of gets on you a little bit. And obviously, if that, like, you're throwing 95 with a ball that looks like it's rising, it becomes extremely hard to hit, especially with the curveball that goes with that. But it's going the other way. So it's starting in the same place, those two pitches, and one's going up and one's going straight down. So a lot of fans are like, oh, why is he swinging at that pitch, like in the dirt? Like that bounced on the plate. Well, it's like, well, also like that fastball started in the same exact spot as the curveball, but the curveball went down, fastball went up, So
Right.
You don't tell yourself, oh man, I'm going to swing at the 58-foot curveball. It just kind of happens.
Yeah. I feel you. I really like what you just said right now, that you're able to create that rise with it. See, that's Brent was asking me, and I said, I don't know, man, all that stuff wasn't really coming into effect like to that level when I was playing.
Yeah.
And I didn't play at your level. I just played JUCO ball, junior college.
Yeah. And like then, there was those dudes that was like, oh man, like it was like the dudes when in college and high school when it was like there's a live fastball, like he had a good fastball, it was like he had late life to it, and like that's kind of, but there was no like, it wasn't spin rate, it wasn't vertical break, it wasn't, we call it ride, like it kind of rides up on you. Right. Like Pedro had it, but we didn't know what to call it. Pedro's was like that late break, so yeah, we never knew what it was, but now they kind of put it into words and kind of explained what it is. It just doesn't. Right. The fastball, like gravity brings it down, it just doesn't bring it down as fast because it's spinning better backwards.
That's great analogy that you just used, that they started putting everything into words now, because growing up, everything was, if you swung up, it was the uppercut. Now they talk about launch angles, you know what I'm saying? Like launch angle.
Getting a lot more technical.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, man. But yeah, you're right. They're definitely putting words into it and breaking it down more. And, that's some of the stuff that I find really interesting, because I was telling Brent, I think the game's changed a lot from when I was a kid. I'm older than you, I'm 13 years older than you, and the game's changed a lot from when I was there. Like the shifts were non-existent when I was a kid, Yeah. And I think that's why the game has also gone away from small ball, because there are shifts, and dudes are trying to hit it over the shift instead of through the shift now.
Yes. Yeah, I totally agree. And like they're playing around with a bunch of different shifting rules in minor leagues this year, so that's kind of a little bit different too.
That was actually going to be my next. You like a mind reader, bro. That was actually going to be my next question. How are you feeling about the little tweaks that they're trying to do in the minors right now with the whole shift situation? I know there's a couple where all four infielders have to be on the dirt. I know there's another one where they have to be.
That's a double-A rule.
I know they had to have 2 and 2 on each side of the bag. What are your thoughts on all that?
So, I think so. The double-A rule has to be all infielders have to be touching the dirt.
Okay.
I don't like that rule. I think that strictly benefits the lefty hook guy, because now you're just like, nothing changes for a righty, like a guy that pulls the ball as a righty. You're just going to put the second baseman on the left side of the infield, and it's still a normal shift, but you're outlawing the second baseman in the outfield. You know what I'm saying? So you're helping the lefty pull guy, but you're not really doing anything for the righty hitters. So I think that one's stupid. I think if you're going to do a shift rule, it has to just be straight up 2 on each side of the infield, and that's it. It has to end there. Other than that, there shouldn't be. You can't just change it because it
helps them because
you're benefiting you're benefiting the lefty.
Yeah,
like the David Ortiz.
Yeah,
because now David Ortiz has all 3 infielders on the infield rather than the that extra guy in the outfield. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Because
so righties,
the only person
that
righties,
benefits
they don't ever move them to the outfield against righties. You're right.
No, you won't, just because they won't make the throw from shortstop if they're in the outfield. Yeah. So it only benefits the lefty like hook guys.
Shit, I didn't even think about that.
That is
so I don't like that rule, and that's the rule we're playing with right now.
Yeah, and that's
I think if they're do anything, they should just do 2 on each side of the infield, and it doesn't matter where. Like you can play them like right behind second base if you want. You know, just got to be 2 on each side. So
yeah, makes sense.
But also, I just think you should be able to shift, like be a better hitter. You know, if you want to hit a homer, you can try to hit a homer, but like every once in a while, drop a bunt down or try to put one through the 4 hole if you're a righty. You know,
right. Like
so I mean,
yesterday.
Yeah, and like there's certain teams that'll shift our team a lot. Like apparently, most of the time I'm not heavily shifted, but every once in a while there will be the second baseman will move to the left side of the infield for advantage counts. So like 1-0, 2-0, 3-1, something like that. He'll be on the left side or 0-0. And then when it gets back to even, they'll go back to the other side, just knowing that I tend to pull the ball when I have a chance to do some damage. But I've also hit a bunch of balls to right field, so they don't do that as much. So
right.
I think the better hitter you are, the less you're going to get shifted and the more chances you have of getting hits. If you can't make adjustments, you're going to get shifted a lot.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, we're coming to a close here, so I got a couple questions for you with regards to your career. Where do you see yourself going from here with your career? The one thing that strikes me as a little bit odd, and you kind of mentioned, is Walsh. You know, you kind of have a dude that's, you know, close in age to you that in some ways will now be blocking you from making it up there. What do you kind of see, or what do you think your line is to be able to hopefully live out a dream and make it to the bigs?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I have no idea. There's obviously when you play a baseball game, you're playing for your team, but you're also playing in front of 29 other teams. So if it's not, I mean, I would love to make it up with the Angels. That would be awesome. But Walsh is also a stud, you know?
Right.
And he plays multiple positions. Hopefully I can get to play multiple positions and end up there with them at some point. That'd be awesome. I don't know.
Other than first base, 'cause I know that's your main position, what would you consider your second best position on the field?
I don't even know. Like first base, legit. Like I haven't really played. I played 1 game at second base this year, and I mean I made all the easy plays, you know. So it wasn't bad, but I definitely am most comfortable at first base. I could play third base, but they don't really have me taking reps there. So I would assume that I'm a first baseman until told otherwise. I've taken reps out in the outfield too, just to get used to it in case I get thrown out there. But yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. So like with the whole, I don't really worry about the whole, like who's playing where. Hopefully eventually I get my name called up there and I can play somewhere and help the team win.
Oh, sounds like you have that perspective. Like, man, you just play your game and eventually it'll just work out for you wherever that may be.
Yeah, right? Eventually it will, whether it be with this team or another team. You never know.
Yeah, if someone's looking at you that you didn't know, just like you said when you got picked up with the Angels, right? You're like, I didn't know until 20 minutes before, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I had no idea about them.
Yeah, cool, man. Makes sense.
Well, before we get out of here, David, we're all told at one point, right, that famous saying, we can no longer play the game professionally or, as our life choice, right? For me, it was high school. For Artie, it was in junior college. Eventually, when that day happens, obviously, hopefully not for a while, What do you plan on doing? Where do you see, or what do you see yourself doing after baseball? As a career, or your next step after this?
Your passion, man.
Yeah, I mean, for me, obviously, want to have a family, and would like to have an opportunity to like start a travel organization or something. I don't know where, but for baseball, just to and have my kids playing that, and so that would be probably like what I would want to do baseball wise after. I have no idea what I want to do after. Like, I would just want to coach, like I can't imagine without baseball. I can't imagine life without baseball. So I mean, obviously, if I owned a travel organization, I'd be doing a lot of coaching and stuff. So that'd be cool. Golfing, like if you have a long big league career, I'm sure I'll have enough money to go golfing wherever I want. So I would definitely be doing a lot of golfing. Honestly, the dream after I retire from baseball is to train for the Champions Tour for golf.
Oh, shit.
Be on it by 50. That would be so sick. But yeah, no, I got a long way to go for that. I got to get good at chipping. But yeah, no, that would be cool.
You watch videos on
I
how
can
to
figure it out eventually. Oh yeah, I watch videos on golf all the time. I'm like, I got to get better. So I mean, I started out at like 105, 110. So
you're that brand.
I probably average about I average like an 84, 85 now.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a chance. I mean,
I'm all right. I shoot like mid to high 90s, but I mean, I play once a month.
If you're breaking 100, you're better than 50% of golfers. So
I'm on the other 50%.
Yeah, but you're gonna get there.
Well, he definitely plays a little more golf than I do, but I'm definitely I'm trying to make more time.
It's an investment. Like you got to put time into that in order to get good.
I agree.
He is absolutely correct.
Sure.
Anything else, Artie? I don't want to keep him too late.
Man, David, you're a cool cat, bro. I wish you nothing but the best, man. I'm gonna be following you a little bit more. So not much. I like to say I love the Dodgers and I like the Angels. I will follow you a little bit more. I did see you were playing over here in the Inland Empire before with the 66ers. Yeah. We just had our high school graduation there. That was pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, man. So, but anyways, good luck, and keep believing the dream, man. Hopefully you make it.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
David, like he said, I appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule to hang out with us, talk a little baseball, talk a little, stuff that's going on in baseball. Where can the listeners find you, either social media or any online presence or anything like that?
Yeah, I'm pretty much. I only have Instagram now, so my tag's DMAC1124. And that's about all I got. I deleted everything else. I'm off.
Being the smart one, there you go, man. I really I don't like doing
Facebook.
The whole thing, but it is what it is. When you were doing this kind of thing, you kind of have to have some social media stuff.
Yeah,
out
you do
there,
have to have them.
you got to kind of, when you get the follow request from the Blown Save, make sure you hit yes on that one, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, we just had David Mackinnon on with us. That was pretty awesome having him there, getting his opinion. I know it kind of cut off there suddenly, guys. First time using the Zoom, we kind of got cut off twice. Thankfully, we were right towards the end of the conversation with him, so we were able to say our goodbyes. I did talk to him afterward. He was really happy to be on with us, and he said he'd be on with us again later on in the season. So that's pretty awesome. Compa, what are your initial thoughts and how everything went?
Man, you know what? He made some awesome insider points that I just never thought about. He was talking about how he could basically backspin it type of thing with the grip of the balls, having the infielders where it benefits the lefty, not really the righty, keeping the 2 feet on there. That he just gives that inside perspective, and the game's changed a lot. It's evolved from when I was playing all the time to, he's a young cat. He's a different generation, but he still has some of that old school stuff too.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I just love the perspective he brought into it. And man, his stories were cool, dude. He seemed like a cool dude, like someone I'd hang out with outside,
Well, definitely. He said
doing the podcast.
Next time he said he's in California, he's gonna hit us up and go hit a round of golf and have a couple more beers and just some more chit chat.
I'm gonna start practicing in damn range after we shooting at 78.
You're telling me, man, I gotta start practicing, because if I don't, I'm gonna look like a fool out there. I'm gonna have
that dude said inside a year, and he started breaking 80s. I was like, what? I broke 89 one time in my career, man.
Well, it was a good time. I mean, I enjoyed it. I can't wait to have him on again, and we'll definitely, like you told him, definitely be watching his career a little bit more
Yeah,
closely
for
now,
sure.
because we actually got that interaction. We got that, face to face quote, over the internet, but we got that face to face with him, and we were able to kind of peer into his ideals and the way he approaches baseball, which is really awesome.
Yeah, man. Made a fan out of me.
There you go. All right, Artie, we're going to get out of here, man. I'm going to let you go get some rest. Don't turn on MLB The Show now. Go get some rest.
No promises.
But let's hear that patented goodbye, man.
Yeah, man. I'm feeling a little under the weather. I don't know if I forgot to wash my hands or not, but hopefully you guys don't. Make sure to wash your hands, wear the mask if you want to or have to, and get your vaccine if you want to or have to. And be safe out there, that we could start seeing each other a little bit more. And yeah, compa, good luck at the river this weekend, and catch you next weekend.
Absolutely. I have a little surprise for you, too, next weekend when I see you. But yeah, guys, like the compadre said, stay safe. If you don't got to go, don't go. I know, like you said, I'm heading to the river, but we're going to be kind of secluded where we're at, and we're going to stay with just immediate family, which is pretty cool. And get away from all this hustle and bustle here at home and at work and stuff like that. But be safe, guys. Thank you guys for listening to the very special episode of the Extra Innings podcast. Since we had this one, I don't think we're going to do one this Friday. Obviously, I won't be here. We were going to plan on doing it on Wednesday. But since we had this one, we're going to go ahead and let this one ride for as the newer episode for this week. We'll catch you guys next week on Friday. And fucking A, I'll see you later, compadre.
All right. Peace out.